The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, presented by Hoop Ball. My name is Adrian Benjamins, and I'm joined by Neil Rochlani. And this episode is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee Company. Get some delicious coffee from Hawaii. Taste the Kona difference. Head over to hawaiianisles.com and Amazon. Neil, how are you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. Last night of the week, I'm trying to absorb these handful of games and then trying to plan for the stretch run. This is crazy, man. It's been a long season, but now it feels like it's gone by fast. So,
yeah, I agree with you. There's times where I feel like it's feeling a little bit like a grind. And then there's other nights where I'm like, man, this season is just flying by. I can't believe we're in like the home final stretch here. Kind of feels like it's gone by fast, man. It's crazy.
yeah, life is
Crazy.
crazy, Adrian. It's all crazy.
You're, you're telling me, man.
All right. Well, we got 5 games completed as of this very moment of recording. Is there anything you want to talk about before we get to those games? Are you seeing anything newsworthy?
I can't think of anything newsworthy. Should we jump into the games? I think it might be your turn
Well, let's
to
just do
lead
a
us off.
little bit of update on Marvin Bagley.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I don't know
Oh,
if you
that's a
saw it.
good one.
Yeah, he got hurt last night. Briefly mentioned it on the end of the show on the podcast. Sprained his left knee. He's going to be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. My first thought last night is it looked like it was going to be an extended absence. I don't know if I'd pick him up, but I think Harry Giles is the one who might see a little bump. He hasn't been playing that many minutes, but I think he could get into the 20s now. And if that is the case, if I'm right, I think he should be owned in deeper leagues, maybe not 12-team leagues. Any thoughts on what you think the impact might be with Bagley sitting?
I think number one, I feel like it's really great news that it's looking like a sprain. Neil, last night there was some concern that it could be an injury bad enough where there could have been structural damage to his knee. And you never want to see that for a potential franchise type player, young guy in his rookie year. So, number one, I am so happy that it looks like a sprain. 1 to 2 weeks, that's fine. Neil, initially I thought about Nemanja Bjelica. I thought him, but I, after sleeping on it, I agree with you. I think Harry Giles is the guy, if any. Now, I think what's going to happen is it's just going to be more usage for Bogdanovich, Harrison Barnes. I think the usage is just kind of be spread out on like with Buddy Hield and most of their guys. Um, but if you were going to take a shot on anyone, I think you're right on Harry Giles.
Yeah, I was listening to Dan today, Dan Besbris, on his show, and he was talking about Barnes maybe getting more usage, and I could see that, but he just doesn't seem like he's really fitting in there to me. Hasn't really found his role in terms of really meshing with the team from what I've seen. So it could help his usage, but I don't think it's going to be a major change for his value. I really think if there's anyone that sees a little pop, it's Giles. But again, I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's probably more like 125 value top end. So anyway, that's just my take. Anything else? That was the only major news I think we need to cover, unless I am missing anything here. All right, that's all I got as well. All right, yes, it is my turn to start off. We will start in Minnesota versus Indiana. Pacers win 122-115. Anthony Towns, though, I think he had a season high here, 42 points on 15 and 29 shooting, 9 of 13 from the line, 3 3-pointers, 17 rebounds, 4 assists. Just a phenomenal line. No defensive stats there. All right, the one guy who we were talking about, Sarge, just got 21 minutes tonight. I'm frustrated. 7 points, 8 rebounds. I did not pick him up. 1 block. I'm kind of doing more strategic positional pickups now instead of like just overall value. And he's not fitting my category build, so I'm avoiding him. And maybe it's not a good thing to pick him up. I want to get your opinion on that. I think he is, at best, mediocre. I don't think he'll get much better than that. Wiggins, 38 minutes. Not a very good fantasy night, though. Just 4 of 14 shooting, just 3 of 5 from the line. 11.6 rebounds and assists and a couple blocks. Jeff Teague is back. Good to see that. If you own him, had a solid night. 13.6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block. Derrick Rose, 24 minutes off the bench. Not much fantasy value tonight. Same with Taj and Tolliver. Okogie gets a start, but doesn't really do anything in 26 minutes. One takeaway here, Teague is back. Started him, I think, if he is someone that you've been having your roster not playing yet. Looks like he's fine with minutes. Low-end starter there. And then Saric, I'm kind of on the fence on. I mean, upside is not that great. Downside, obviously, could be bad. So I was hoping. I wanted to make it happen. Good to see him starting. It's just not happening right now. What do you think about the Timberwolves?
Very unfortunate that Dario Saric hasn't gotten going. I think I'm going to move on, Neil. And, let's not forget, I think we'll see Robert Covington sometime next week. He likely could take a bite out of Dario Saric's production as well. We could see some of that usage go over towards Covington. So, yeah, I mean, I thought for sure when Dario Saric got moved in the starting lineup, it was going to be a for sure great ad, but it's not looking good, man. And, right now you need to make another pickup. There's someone you really want to get. I wouldn't blame you for wanting to make the move. Neil, I left Tyus Jones in my lineup tonight because I did not realize that Jeff Teague was going to be back in this one. So I'm jumping off the Tyus Jones train. I'll probably drop him tonight for somebody. So feel free to move on if you have Tyus Jones. All right, Karl Anthony Towns, man, unbelievable. 42 points with 17 boards. What a great game from him. Neil, any closing thoughts on the Wolves before I head over?
That's all I got too. Yep.
All right, the Indiana Pacers, man, every single time I talk about Bogdanovich, when I look at the Pacers, he has been scoring the ball so well this season, and tonight was no different. 37 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds with 4 threes, was 13 of 22 from the field, 7 of 9 from the line. He has been a pleasant surprise this season. Wesley Matthews, I've been talking lately about how he's starting to get going. Tonight was just okay, 12 points. 2 steals, 2 assists, 1 rebound. He did have 3 threes, shot 3 of 9 from the field, 3 of 3 from the line. Thaddeus Young, 15 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 threes. Pretty good all-around line from him. 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. Darren Collison has been struggling a little bit offensively here. I think this is like the second game in a row. He's having trouble scoring the ball. Only shot 1 of 9 for 8 points, a steal, a block, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, was 6 of 6 from the line, so that's nice. Miles Turner, man, this one is a little disappointing. Had foul trouble for sure. 5 fouls in 23 minutes. Only had 3 points, but man, I love those 6 blocks and the steal. Those 7 defensive total stats is great. Only 1 rebound, 1 3. He only shot 1 of 4 tonight. So a little disappointing here. Off the bench, they got a nice game from Leaf, who had 18 points in 22 minutes. Kyle O'Quinn, who could step in for Sabonis, but it's not really happening. Only 15 minutes from him. He put up 10 points. And don't really trust anyone else, man. Tyreek Evans is out right now. It's been a lost season for him. Neil, what do you think of the Pacers?
Yeah, it's interesting that Leaf got all these minutes as the backup center and not Kyle O'Quinn. Not a bad line from him. 7 of 12 shooting, 18 points, but not worth trusting. Yeah, it's unfortunate Matthews is not really – he's doing okay, but nothing great. Did have 2 steals and 3 three-pointers, so good on that position. Yeah, not much else to talk about. I think Collison, he's had a couple nights struggling, but his other stats are fine. So I'm good with him. All right, let's go on. Anything else before I move on?
Nope.
All right, Golden State loses 2 nights in a row. Now in the other part of Florida to Orlando, 103-96. Cousins was back in this game. He had a pretty solid performance here. 21 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, steal block, 50% shooting from the field. Just not enough. Played 32 minutes too. I did not see him getting 30-plus minutes consistently. This is a good sign for Cousins owners. Perhaps his value does get higher than I expected. Draymond Green, 39 minutes. Disappointing line, though. He just took 4 shots, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I don't know when he's playing with Cousins, how much his value goes down, but it seems there's some anecdotal evidence around that. Steph Curry, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. He struggled tonight, 12 of 33 from the field, 5 of 17 from three-point land. An off night shooting for him. Thompson, 21 points. Off night as well, 9 of 23. From the field, Antonio McKinney gets a start at forward, 24 minutes, not much there. So Durant was out tonight. That's the big news. I missed that. Got a rest. And clearly they missed him. Not much else to talk about here. I don't think this Durant is anything more than just a rest night. What are your thoughts on the Warriors?
Not too much for me to add. As you said, no, they really missed Kevin Durant. I believe coming off of a back-to-back, I believe they played last night. So I just kind of chalking this up to a fluke. I think they'll be fine, especially with Durant returning in the next one. They'll likely be back to the Warriors that we're used to seeing. All right. On the Orlando Magic side, Aaron Gordon's been playing really well lately. I think if you look at his game log, the last few games, he's put up some pretty big numbers. And tonight was no different. 22 points with 15 rebounds. That's outstanding. A block, 3 assists, 2 threes, 9 of 15 from the field, 2 from the line. That's a great game from him. Vucevic was a little disappointing scoring-wise, was 4 of 15 for 12 points, but I love that he still gave you 3 blocks, 6 assists, 13 rebounds, 1 3, and 3 of 4 shooting from the line. He's having an outstanding season. Fournier with a disappointing game, only 8 points in 29 minutes. He shot 3 of 12, so that shot was not falling. DJ Augustine with a decent game here, 14 points, 3 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. You might be playing him in some deeper leagues. 2 threes tonight, 6 of 11 from the field. And Jonathan Isaac has been really solid for some time. This game was okay, only 12 points. But I just love that he gave you an efficient 6 of 8 field goal, 4 rebounds, 1 block. He's been pretty good lately. Neil, I want to hear from you after I'm done. If you stuck with Terrence Ross, 16 points tonight, a steal, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. This is much better. Still not shooting great tonight, was only 5 of 14. So, we could see him play much better than this, but he did have 4 threes, 2 of 2 from the line. Not much else to talk about. I don't think we'll see Fultz this season. Bamba is gone, so we won't see those young guys this season. No one else to talk about on the bench. What do you think of the Magic, Neil? Did you stick with Ross?
What do you think based on his line tonight?
I'm going to say yes.
I did not.
No?
You know what? I dropped him for Dwight Powell. I was trying to figure out who to pick up. I was trying to figure out who to drop for Powell. I almost went with I almost went with McGee because he's had a couple bad games in a row, JaVale McGee. But I decided to go with Ross, and yeah. So
I would rather have Dwight Powell right now than Terrence Ross. So even though you didn't have Ross in your lineup tonight, Dwight Powell looks like he could be a stud the rest of the way. So that was a great move, I think.
I think it's a risk, but yes, it's possible. The possibility is there. So I had to jump on it. I don't know if it's going to be – I wouldn't say it's highly likely he's a stud, but I think it's higher now than at any point I've ever seen in Dwight Powell's career. So time to take at least a chance on it. Yeah, that's it. DJ Augustine, I've been streaming him too. I need a point guard. I'm kind of like behind in my point guard games played. I just wanted a safe point guard that's not going to hurt my field goal percentage, and he seems to fit that bill. Obviously not great, but not hurting me there. So stuck him in tonight. Yeah, no other change on this. Like you said, Aaron Gordon, this is what we kind of hoped, Last year was sort of his supposed to be breakout year, and stats like this is what a lot of us are dreaming for. So there's still potential for him in future years to be a fantasy and reality high player. I don't know what adjective to use. Anyway, let's go on to the third game of the night. Cleveland, New York, clash of the Titans. The Cavaliers get the win here on the road, 125-118. Start off with the Cleveland side. I believe Kevin Love is still out there fast and furious. He put up 26 points on 6-12 shooting. So efficient. 11-11 from the line. Phenomenal to see that. 3 3-pointers, a block. Also had his complement of rebounds, 8 rebounds and 3 assists. Chetty Osman, Adrian, you were big on him at the beginning of the season. I know you soured a bit, but he's coming around. 21.7 rebounds, 5 assists, 7-10 shooting, 4 from the line, 3 3-pointers, a steal, 2 blocks. Zizic, quiet night. Center, Brandon Knight getting the start at guard, but not really producing. Sexton, someone you and I both think has a future in this league tonight. Played pretty well. 6 of 9 from the line, I should say. 2 of 6 from three-point land, 7-15 from the field, 22 points overall, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 3-pointers. Clarkson scores off the bench as usual, 22 points, not much else. Larry Nance fouls out in 19 minutes. Ugly game for him. Nwaba plays off the bench. Marquise Chris thought he might have an opportunity. Obviously, has not worked. It was worth the gamble. You never know, but does not seem to be working out. Osman, I think, not great percentages on the year, but I think he is one of these players that gets better with time. So I think I can trust him now, more now than at the beginning of the season. That's really it. He's the only one that might be out there that I would pick up. Any thoughts on the Cavaliers?
Cedi Osman looks like he's starting to roll. He's finding his stride here for this final stretch of the season. Make sure you got him locked in your lineup. Likely he's picked up everywhere, but if by some way he's still sitting there, go grab him because he looks like he's ready to go, man. He's really feeling it right now. And not too much else for me to add there. I'm going to cruise over to the Knicks. And, Neil, I dodged a bullet, man. Dennis Smith Jr. bouncing back a bit in this one, which my team, which a couple of my teams really needed. So 16 points, 8 assists, a block, 2 rebounds, 3 threes on 6 of 13 shooting. This was really nice to see. Dotson, still got the minutes in this one, got the shots. The line is a little underwhelming, but still a little bit encouraged. In standard leagues, not worth owning, but in deep leagues, I'm still watching him. 9 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, 4 of 10 from the field. Vonleh, this is a nice game, but I don't trust the 22 minutes he got. But he put up a double-double, 16 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, a perfect 7 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from the line. It's been really disappointing to see him fall off. He had a nice stretch mid-season where he was putting up some decent value. Kevin Knox, this is a disappointing game from him. This is what you're scared of if you're playing Kevin Knox, which is inefficiency. 3 of 12 for 8 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds from him. Thomas getting the start, but we don't trust him. Only 10 points in 19 minutes. Neil, I'm starting to get intrigued by Alonzo Trier. Is he going to see 32 minutes? Even if he's coming off the bench, took the most shots out of anyone on this team tonight. So the usage is there, but I don't know, man. If he's going to get 30 minutes or starter type minutes, even coming off the bench, I think he could be worth an own or could be worth rostering in deeper leagues. So I'm going to watch Alonzo Trier closer. And Mitchell Robinson still doing his thing. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks. He's been getting a lot of love lately. And even though he didn't start tonight, saw 28 minutes and actually fouled out of this one 6 6 fouls in choice. So he could have got even more minutes than this, but I think Mitchell Robinson's been picked up everywhere, needs to be locked in and played, especially with DeAndre Jordan out of the lineup right now. Not too much else to talk about. They signed Ellenson, who got 27 minutes tonight, 13 points, 5 rebounds. I don't know what that means. I'm going to just watch that situation, but I don't think you need to make a move on that. Hazonia also missed this game. Still no Neil Aquina. Neil, what do you think of the Knicks?
What's that saying? Fool me 37 times, shame on me. Yeah, I just can't trust these guys. I mean, Vonleh, this is what I expected from Vonleh when I talked about picking him up, 16-10. Nice night from him, but obviously it's few and far between. It's really just Mitchell Robinson and Dennis Smith Jr., only guys I think that could have value rest of the season. The rest, I think you're just throwing darts night to night. So staying away from the Knicks. All right, next game, Houston, Miami. Close game here. Miami falls 118 to 121. You can get into the James Harden love fest here in a little bit. I'm going to start with the Miami side. Kelly Olynyk, third or fourth game in a row. He's really been impressive. I know you already picked him up. I'm trying to think. Maybe I should drop Dwight Powell for him. I'm not sure. 21 points. You're shaking your head no. Okay, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 9 of 14. Great percentages. 3 3-pointers and a steal. Solid night from Richardson, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 6 of 11, shooting 3 steals, 3 3-pointers. Adebayo in the starting lineup for an injured Whiteside, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Not a bad night. 1 steal, 2 blocks on 3 of 6 shooting, 4 4 from the line. Winslow, he's quietly had a pretty solid season. 19.7 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 3-pointers, 7 13 from the field. Waiters, unfortunately, his percentages are too hard to trust, and he can have some duds. I learned that the hard way last year. Stay away from him, even with 32 minutes. Wade, couldn't have the magic 2 nights in a row. 12 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Struggled a bit from the field, 6 of 15. Dragic, second good game in a row, coming off the bench. Like you said, his minutes starting to ramp up after, I believe, 21 last night, 25 tonight, 21 points. 5 and 5 with 3 3-pointers and a steal. Looks like you can throw him back in your lineup if you were hanging on to him in a Games Cap League. And, Olynyk. Oh, gosh. I don't know what to do about him. I think it's hard for me to trust Miami guys, but we know Olynyk can do it if he gets the minutes, and he so far has been getting the minutes. We'll see about Derek Jones Jr. did come back tonight, played 20 minutes. Not sure if he's going to stay on the bench or come in and start again. So I might have to wait and see. Although that's sometimes when you wait in fantasy, you miss out. So it's a fine line right here. I think I'm going to wait, though, on Olynyk. You have him. I'm sure you're happy with him.
I do like Kelly Olynyk, and I do think he needs to be rostered right now. But, Neil, if I had to choose between Dwight Powell and Olynyk, I'm going to lean slightly towards Powell only because I don't think his value is handcuffed to other players, where Kelly Olynyk, his value is dependent on James Johnson being out and Hassan Whiteside being out on this one. So even though Kelly Olynyk is playing great right now, I have him locked in my lineup. He could easily lose a lot of value if we see Johnson and Whiteside return, where I think Dwight Powell, I don't think his value is really dependent on anybody. I think he could be locked in for the rest of the season, and nobody on the roster might change that. So that's why I lean slightly towards Powell. Who else? There's someone else. Oh, Goran Dragic, man, he looks really good. That rust is falling off. I believe he said in an interview that he's starting to feel really good physically. If you want to move him into your lineup, I'm okay with it. I'm still kind of want him to get in that starting lineup, so I know into that Miami Heat starting lineup, so that I know his minutes are going to be safe. But, tonight in a close game, he got 25 minutes. So I would feel if you need him, you need some point guard production, move him into your lineup. And he looks pretty good, man. All right. Let me cruise down to the Rockets, and Neil, great googly moogly. James Harden. Oh my goodness. 58 points, 18 of 18 from the line. He had 8 threes tonight. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. 16 of 32 from the field. He also gave you 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, a block. This is outstanding. And I guess no surprise, this guy currently, Neil, the number 1 player on the season in 9 category leagues, with Anthony Davis kind of taking a hit with this, taking that reserve low minute role. It seems like James Harden feels like a lock to finish the season number 1. What an outstanding year for him. Clint Capella, I have him in quite a few leagues. It feels a little disappointing because I only see the 6 points. He's been playing really well, but still filling it up in some of these other categories with the 2 blocks, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, shot 2 of 2 from the field, 2 of 4 from the line. Chris Paul's been playing pretty well. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 1 3, 4 of 12 shootings, not that great, but he was a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. Clark moved in the starting lineup here. This is really strange. Fareed and Eric Gordon missed this one due to injury. So Clark moved in the starting lineup. I wouldn't pick him up because likely it's going to be real short. I would expect we see Fareed and Gordon back very soon. Clark got 14 points, though, in 32 minutes. Tucker, 6 points in 22 minutes. Green, coming off the bench, didn't do much, 6 points in 34 minutes. Rivers had a decent game, 17 points, 3 threes in 31 minutes, but hard to trust these guys on the bench. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Rockets?
Yeah, James Harden, number 1 fantasy player. I did not think I'd be saying that this year. But it's going to be the case, and not just 8 category leagues where I tend to evaluate players more in that format. But 9 category, which is very impressive. What he's done this season, Chris Paul, good to see him playing 34 minutes here. Looks just fine out there. Capella, likewise, just took 2 shots, so that's kind of frustrating. Not much else here, like you said. They had a couple injuries. Austin Rivers filled in nicely, but it's just one of those games where he and Clark are in there because other guys are out, so don't trust it. We'll see what the Rockets do in the playoffs. I'm more curious about their playoff run than anything else at this point. Fantasy-wise, it seems pretty known. All right, last game that's completed so far. Philadelphia, Oklahoma City. Philadelphia, nice win here on the road, 108-104 without Embiid in the starting lineup. Their big 3, as it is, without those guys getting it done. Butler, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. 2 steals, only downside there. He struggled from the line, 2 of 5. Tobias Harris, it's nice to see he can step up and be a leader in scoring on this team. I was wondering how he's going to fit in. Clearly, when Embiid's out, he will not hesitate to shoot. 11 and 19 from the field, 32 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. These are just like the lines he would get in L.A., a steal, a block, 5 3-pointers, phenomenal. Ben Simmons, triple-doubles, 11, 13, and 11, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Bolden here gets started center. So no Boban. Looks like he's injured as well, isn't he? So he's out for right now as well. Bolden, though, just 20 minutes. Put up 14 points, but he shot 6 of 7, so that's an unusually high percentage, so I will not trust his points. His rebounds, just 3. Did have 2 3-pointers and a steal, but I would not look to pick him up at all. Likewise, let's see. Mike Scott now in Philly playing 21 minutes, low-end usage. McConnell, 17. Yeah, I guess the biggest question is how long does Embiid sit, and what do you do if you own him? Should be back soon, but we know he has a history of injury. I believe this is a knee injury, so could linger. You could re-aggravate it. That's the only question mark here. Everyone else seems pretty much set. You have any thoughts on this Philly roster?
This team really banged up right now. Really banged up right now in the front court. Hurting bad with Embiid out and Boban also, I believe, out for the next 5 to 7 days. So, Neil, if you have Embiid on your roster, you're praying right now because you can't drop him. Trading's over. So you're just hoping you got him back for the fantasy playoffs, which is around the corner. And at the end of the All-Star break, they said he'd be evaluated in a week. We're coming up on that week right now. So we should be hearing very soon whether we're going to see him back. Neil, if they say he's not ready to come back, then I'm going to maybe switch into panic mode because that means that week off didn't help and he's still feeling pain in his knee or he's still having issues. So I will get ready to freak out if he's not ready to come back at the end of their evaluation. All right, let me jump in on the Thunder side. Westbrook doing his thing, triple-double, 23 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds, a steal, a block, 8 of 24 from the field. We know that that's kind of his Achilles heel. Also, turnovers, had 4 of them tonight, but 1-3. Important to note, Paul George missing this one. It was Morris getting the start, and he looked pretty decent, 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal on 7 of 12 shooting, 1-3. Steven Adams with a double-double, 11 points, 14 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 4 of 9 shooting, 3 of 6 from the line. Grant had a nice game, 23 points, 6 rebounds, a block, 10 of 17 from the field, 2 threes from him. Ferguson, I don't trust. But Schroeder, he actually started for Morris in the second half, and he had a great game. 33 minutes, he had 14 points, 7 assists, a steal, a rebound, 2 threes on 4 of 15 shooting. I don't trust anyone else on this team, though. Neil, what do you think of the Thunder?
Yeah, tough loss here for him. Jeremy Grant's been just a great pickup this year if you happen to get him. Markieff Morris, as you mentioned, in the starting lineup for George. Has a decent night, but nothing really that great anyway. And just played 19 minutes, so I'm not going to trust him at all. Yeah, nothing else has changed. It's Westbrook, Adams, Grant, and George when he's healthy, and then Schroeder if he's just low-end point guard numbers, but percentages are not great. So nothing new here. Noel, I didn't think he was going to pan out, and again, another quiet night from him. That's all I got. That's it for the games tonight, Adrian. You got
all right.
You got any basketball stories? Any Bachelor stories you want to talk about? Any you've been watching any other nice reality TV you can share some light on? Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, not. And you know what? I better get running. My wife actually texts me from the room. It's funny. My daughter's changer is in this room that I'm in right now, and my wife needs a diaper. She's like, your daughter needs a diaper badly, so let me know when you're done in there. So I better get out of here, you guys. But hey, it's been a great week. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the show. Neil, is there one more game still going?
There is one more game. Right now, Utah Denver's half, so I'll be back for that one.
All right, Neil will be back for that one. We'll see you guys Sunday night. Oh, hit us up on Twitter. He's at Ball with Neil. I'm at Adrian Benjamins. We love hearing from you. We'll see you later.
Last game of the evening. Utah goes into Denver. Gets the win here. Nice win for Utah, 111-104. On the Jazz side, we kind of know all these guys. Let's see. Start with Mitchell, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Nice night shooting, or not a bad night shooting, 9 of 19. 4 3-pointers, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Gobert, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. Ingles starting to bounce back after his midseason slump. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists tonight. 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, and a block. Derek Favors, low-end double-double with 15 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 of 7 shooting. A single steal. Royce O'Neal gets the start for the injured Rubio. Doesn't do much. He plays 40 minutes, though, and has a +5. So good to see that. But fantasy-wise, Goes 2 of 8 shooting, 0 of 5 from three-point land, 4 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. No need to rush to get him. Kyle Korver produces a lot of nice scoring off the bench here in 22 minutes, 22 points, 8 of 15 shooting, and a steal. No changes here for the Jazz on the Denver side. Barton strong, 21 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Steal, 2 blocks. Jokic, 16 and 13 with 7 assists. Tough night shooting, 5 of 15. No three-pointers, no steals, no blocks tonight. Jamal Murray continues to have solid fantasy value, 21 points tonight, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 8 of 16 shooting, 4 three-pointers. Fortunately, Gary Harris still does not. Probably close to being droppable. I didn't think I'd recommend ever saying that about Gary Harris, but it's starting to get close to that point. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists tonight, 23 minutes. He is just splitting time with Barton, and then Isaiah Thomas gets a little bit of run there, 11 minutes tonight. Monte Morris, 16. So the backcourt's a little crowded, and Gary Harris is not shining right now. Maybe give it one more game before you drop. The aforementioned Malik Beasley, if I did mention him, 24 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist on 3 of 6 shooting. Yeah, no fantasy value there. Millsap, quiet game from him, 15 points, 5 rebounds, a steal, a block, 2 three-pointers. That is this fantasy line there. Plumlee had a little bit of a run. Jokic got in foul trouble here. Then the third quarter came out a bit early, so Plumlee played 22 minutes. And when he gets mid to high 20s, he's definitely worth owning. Just this was an anomaly because of the foul trouble. 11 points tonight, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. So we have Barton hanging on to value. Millsap has been okay this year. Murray and Jokic, or Jokic obviously is a standout, and Murray's been mediocre, but not bad. Harris has fallen off a cliff, and I think maybe one more game, like I said, before you follow him with dropping him overboard. So that's all I'm taking away from this game, and that will do it for the show. Thanks for listening once again to the Box Score Breakdown. We are brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. Their delicious coffee products can be found at hawaiianisles.com or on amazon.com. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, I am at ballwithneil, BALLWITHNEIL. And last show of the night, so we'll be back, or last show of the week, I should say. We'll be back on Sunday. Talk to you then.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.